ever so slightly above that, maybe 21.20. But again, my point is that we're basically hovering around this line, so it's no sense in jumping to too many conclusions yet, especially without confirmation. Okay. In terms of lack of confirmation, let alone a close below, I'm still in the camp that we're headed to 22,500. Again, that was kind of my base case. Even when we were trading down at 19,000, even when we had this dip down here to 18,300, I still was telling you guys that everything was pointing to a move up, probably to that 22.5 level. Now, if we get there, then we'll start watching to see, do we confirm above that? If we do, we may head up to 25,000.
In today's video, Chief Market Strategist of InTheMoneyStocks.com Gareth Soloway tells us all about his latest analysis of the charts as well as his predictions and price targets for Bitcoin. According to Soloway, Bitcoin may face a lot of uncertainties in the near term as a result of the ongoing global economic declines, and we can still possibly see the Bitcoin price drop to 12K even lower, before putting it at a bottom. Soloway shares his opinion regarding high inflation rates, the stock market, the crypto market, and the Fed. Before listening to him, please ensure to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. Let's dive into his last interview now.
We are having a pullback on Bitcoin today after 2 consecutive upside moves, including the very close call, but a confirmed breakout above this line. We're getting a pullback in today's session. Now, the pullback has kind of accelerated a little bit. We're back below this trend line, but remember, being back below doesn't really mean anything. It's a matter of, does it confirm back below, which we wouldn't know. Even if it closes below in today's session, we would have to wait till tomorrow to see if it closes below the low pivot, obviously, from today. So that's something I'll be watching. I'll be guiding you. But basically, a lot of kind of amateur retail investors, they get kind of wishy-washied out, whipped out of trades based on, moves above or below key trend lines without confirmation. Once you understand confirmation, it limits the amount of whip that you'll kind of encounter because of how powerful it is. But bottom line is, let's go over the scenario. So let's say we close below here today, which again, we still have about an hour and a half on this candle before that happens. It's basically the line is at 21,000. So we're at 48 points or $48 below that in an hour and a half. I mean, listen, in 5 minutes, we could be back above that. So let's see where we close on the daily candle. If we close below, then you look to see if it confirms tomorrow. If it confirms tomorrow, it's a failed breakout, and then you'd have to start thinking that you're going to come down here and test this low around 20,000, right? Now, if you close below but then go back above tomorrow, then it's, still consolidating. This would be looked at as bullish consolidation, still with a confirmed breakout, everything kind of turning up fine and dandy. And again, that's the other scenario that we'll be watching. So I'll guide you guys through this. Again, I know a lot of you guys do not know the confirmation signal, although a lot of you guys are learning it based on taking the Winning Trader series. All right, so again, right now, nice little pullback. We're actually already starting to bounce. We're all the way back to 20,990 now. So we're really about 10, 20 bucks only below the trend line at this point in time. So I'll keep an eye on that. But let's see where it closes, and then we'll go from there. All right, the beauty of the charts is there's really no gray area, right? It's either it closes above, it closes below, it confirms above, it confirms below. You kind of watch for these things that you check off on your list of kind of technical factors, and then it guides you to probabilities, right? So you have 3 factors that are pointing in the bullish direction. That's basically an 80% success rate opportunity. If you have 1 negative and 2 positives, you're probably only at around 60%, 65% positive on that move, and so forth. So you have to kind of learn where the lines kind of are drawn, where the probabilities fall based on how many factors you have based on the chart. You can see right now we're back to 21,000. Looks like the line is ever so slightly above that, maybe 21.20. But again, my point is that we're basically hovering around this line, so it's no sense in jumping to too many conclusions yet, especially without confirmation. Okay. In terms of lack of confirmation, let alone a close below, I'm still in the camp that we're headed to 22,500. Again, that was kind of my base case. Even when we were trading down at 19,000, even when we had this dip down here to 18,300, I still was telling you guys that everything was pointing to a move up, probably to that 22.5 level. Now, if we get there, then we'll start watching to see, do we confirm above that? If we do, we may head up to 25,000. All right, so again, everything in the charts guides us. We don't tell the charts what they're going to do. The average investor is always going to go and say, hey, I want this to happen, so that's what I'm going to believe. A pro says, what are the charts saying? And that's what we're going with, right? And again, such a big difference there. Doesn't seem like a big difference, but it's actually an epically big difference in psychology, all right? Do you listen to what your hopes and dreams are, which honestly the market doesn't care, or do you listen to the charts, which obviously dictate probability? All right, let's go to ETH real quick. ETH pulling back. Again, should we be surprised ETH is pulling back here? The answer is no. Hit pivot, 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 and look at this. I mean, pretty amazing. Consolidated just below, but still hit and got pushed right back down. Now, if it consolidates sideways here, eventually I do think it has a chance of breaking to the upside, but let's watch this formation and see what happens here on to determine what are the probabilities that. Right now, I'm kind of at 50-50 odds of a breakout. I think if Bitcoin does make a move to 22.5, then likely you would have it. But again, you have to respect the resistance here on Ethereum. And again, we're still waiting for clarification from Gensler on the altcoins, including Ethereum, that are now kind of more considered to be securities. What does that mean? And it actually puts Ethereum and the alts at a little bit more risk than Bitcoin. And again, you can see that in my holdings, right? So obviously we already took off 2 trades in the last few days, a 14.2% winner on Avalanche, a 14.01% winner on Solana. Now I still have positions in Cardano, Polkadot, and Bitcoin, but if you look at the percentages in Bitcoin, right, it's much, much greater. And that there's a method to the madness, right? There's the kind of the concept here, which Gensler has been very clear on, that Bitcoin's a commodity, right? So we know how commodities are treated versus we don't know the rules that a security that like Ethereum or some of the other alts could be treated with. Are they going to be the same rules as securities like Microsoft and Apple stock? In which case they're going to have to somehow report earnings, which doesn't make sense because they're not really companies in that way. So this is where the confusion kind of comes, and where there's more risk in holding the alts versus a Bitcoin. Now, once we get clarification, that could be a game changer. If the clarification is very standard, very easy for these other coins to do, then all of a sudden a lot of money could pile in, but we need to wait to see that and what happens there. All right, let's look at Polkadot real quick here. Polkadot, nice pullback. Again, where's it pulling back to? You have support right here, so you are at support right around the 680 to 670 level. We'll continue to monitor that. I can erase this trend line for now. I think this one's really your big one. Granted, you never confirmed above it, but still pivot to pivot. Let's watch to see how it acts here. Does it close back below? If it does, then you'll start heading down towards this level. If not, and it kind of continues to hover, look for a confirmed move, then a target of about $7.85 to 90 cents. Looking at Cardano, Cardano, a nice pullback today. Again, should we be surprised that Cardano is still getting rejected at a triple threat, meaning a triple resistance line? This pivot low right here, right through here, this pivot low right through here, and the downsloping line. I mean, this literally is probably the strongest level in the crypto markets. Now, if it can break out, and this is the key, and this is a great educational point, if you have a strong resistance and you're able to break, then the move is always bigger to the upside versus a weak resistance, right? A weak resistance, when it breaks, you have some short covering, you have some buying on that. When a strong resistance is broken, people get very excited and the shorts get very, very scared. So it's a much more dynamic move in an equity or a crypto or a commodity through a major level. So yes, this is a big level, but if for some reason it can break out, you probably get a straight shot up to about 51 cents or so. All right, now we can take a look at Avalanche. Avalanche, look at that, guys. Does that look like a good sell from yesterday or what? Selling just above 20 bucks. We're all the way back down to $18.40. Would I be an intrigued buyer if it gets down maybe to the support line down here? Yeah, I would kind of start scoping it out. We'd probably just start a feeler position again, considering we are getting later in the upcycle in cryptos. But nonetheless, I would be interested if it got down into the high 17s or mid 17 range. Absolutely. Same thing on Solana. Look at that drop. And again, it had an amazing pop yesterday. I mean, really remarkable. But look at the corrective move here. And Solana is getting very intriguing down in this lower range. I think anything below 32.50 is almost worth a nibble on the Solana setup here. All right, now again, that would just be a starting point. One of the lines that I'd be watching for here, pivot low right up here, right? So if we put this to this low, goes right through here, that's right around 3160 or so, 3175. So that would probably be an intriguing level for me to maybe start a position in Solana. Now remember, both with Avalanche and Solana, we added after our initial entry, right? We started small, we added a little bit more, which gave our averages a much better level for when the pop occurred. So we would follow that methodology over and over again. It honestly has changed everything about how I trade in terms of my win rate going up dramatically. And what it is traders that are humble. And in all fairness, I don't think you can be a real trader and not be humble in this game. You have lots of yahoos out there that claim to be the best traders in the world and, oh, I made millions of dollars, and they act so cocky. They're not real traders. I can tell you that right now, they're not actually trading. Because one thing I've learned is that if you're a trader, the market humbles you every so often. It doesn't matter if you're the best trader in the world, and I'm not the best in the world by any stretch. I'm a good trader, but I'm not the best. But it doesn't matter. The market has a way of always reminding you who's in charge. And the only thing we can do is put the probabilities in our favor. And even when we do that, there's still going to be losses because probabilities dictate that, right? You get an 80% win rate, that still means 2 times out of every 10 you're going to lose. So how are you going to bet the farm, which some people do, on any one trade when you know 2 out of every 10 you're going to take a loss on, right? So again, just a reminder that the market has a way of always keeping you humble. It certainly does for me too. Great example of that for me was Terra Luna. So if I put up on the board since inception, which is now honestly getting close to a year. At the end of November, it will be 1 year since launch. Actually, November 8th. Holy cow. I launched on November 8th, so that's 2 days away. It'll be 1 year. I've traded, God, how many trades have I put in? Probably 75 we've closed out in that year, maybe more. I've had 2 losses. One was a 1.39% loss, and then Terra Luna reminded me who's boss. It was a 99.99% loss. Now, luckily, it was only a few percentage points of my portfolio because I believe in diversification. But again, guess what? Just a reminder that any one investment can go south, and it will happen in your lifetime many times, right? If you trade long enough, it's not just, you don't just have one Terra Luna out there. You get caught in a couple. Probably a good example would be one a year, one catastrophic trade a year. So if you overload the boat, guess what? It's gonna make you pay. At some point, it's gonna catch up to you. Absolutely. All right. Anyways, going to Matic. Let's take a look at Matic here. Nice little pullback here. In terms of Matic buy level, this pivot is going to be the level right around $1. So a retrace to about $1. That would be your support level there. Let's look at BNB real quick. That's pulling back. This not too extended to be a buyer here. It would have to probably come down into this range right here around 300, and then that gets interesting there. Let me see here what else we have on the radar. Let's look at Chainlink real quick. See what we got on that one. Yep, nice move up, broke out above this line. That means a retrace to this line would be a buy. That's around $7.65 to 70 cents. So that would be a buy level. And then FTT, sure, what the heck? Let's look up FTT here. Ooh, that's nasty. Nice little dump on that. I wouldn't touch that. Even at double bottom here, double bottom is semi-intriguing, but I'd still be a little careful considering the price action in a bullish run. Now, we're not in a bull market for crypto, but we're in a bullish run. There's no doubt about it right now, aside from today's pullback, but the recent action has been bullish.